Why do I keep going back into toxic relationships? Maybe that's a question that you've asked yourself. You tell yourself every time you've escaped, but then some hidden force pulls you back into the same toxic relationship. Maybe it's a person with a different name, but it's the same toxic patterns. It's like walking through the same door over and over and ending up in the same room every time. Here's the problem. Until you know which door it is that you're walking through, you'll keep walking through it over and over again. So let's talk about the 6 hidden doors that drag people back into toxic relationships and how to spot yours. Now, the first door is the one I think that surprises people the most. It's guilt. Somewhere along the way, you learned that joy has to be earned. And in your mind, the price to earn joy is suffering. So when life actually feels good, guilt whispers to you, you don't deserve this. And then to alleviate that guilt, you go back into toxic relationships to try to earn something. And by the way, hear me on this. You try to earn something that more suffering can never earn. Now, the second one is the place that I see so many people get stuck, and it's control. Trauma from your past can rob you of choice. So going back to what hurt you feels like a chance to rewrite the story, to finally get it right. The cruel trick is this, that chasing control just keeps you trapped in the very story that you're trying to fix. Now, this one will hit hard for some of you watching this video, but I hope that you will stay with me through this. We'll call it chaos. When chaos is all you've ever known, peace feels very suspicious. A steady, safe relationship, it can feel boring, it can even feel wrong. So you chase intensity, mistaking chaos for love. And that's why people sometimes run from the person who treats them well and back to someone who doesn't. Hey, before I go on to the fourth door, if this is your first time to stop by this channel, thank you so much for doing so. This channel is about the fact that people are complicated and relationships are hard. And so we try to make your relationships make sense. And if you'd like more videos on that topic, please make sure and subscribe. So number 4, almost nobody admits this, but everyone feels it. Sometimes pain pays. Toxic relationships reward us with attention, identity, even a sense of purpose. Pain can feel safer than emptiness sometimes. And so you go back not because it's good, but because at least it feels like something. Here's one most people never realize. We'll call this one silent protest. When your voice was silenced as a child, your suffering becomes your signal. Going back almost becomes a way of saying, look what they've done to me. And until that's acknowledged, until it's recognized by you, the cycle just keeps repeating. And here's the one that I think surprised me the most in my early years of being a pastor, and I recognize that I've fallen into it myself many times. It's moral superiority. We tell ourselves, I'm better than other people because I've suffered. We wear it like a badge, and so we seek out relationships that hurt us again and again and again. The problem is, and I hope you'll stick with me on this, pain doesn't make you more worthy, which is not to say that you can avoid pain in life. You can't. Or that God can't use pain in your life. He can. But your seeking it out doesn't make you more worthy. It just makes you tired. You don't need to suffer to prove your value. One of the things that I often talk about is that the center of the human heart is a paradox. I call it the relationship paradox. On the one hand, we are created in the image of God and we long for connection with people. We want to be known. We want to be loved. But at the same time, we're scared of being known and being loved. And so we sabotage the very connections we long for. And one way that we do that is by running back into toxic relationships over and over again. Okay, so how do you stop going back through the same door? Well, number 1, you've got to name the door. Don't just name the pain. Ask what feels familiar about this situation and about the patterns in this relationship and who it reminds you of. Something else you need to know is to expect some discomfort. Peace may feel wrong at first. If you're in a relationship that is peaceful, that's good, that the other person is treating you well, that may feel like danger, but it's not. That's healing. Also, don't go this alone. If you have a pattern of being in toxic relationships, you probably can't identify it on your own. So find a friend, a mentor, maybe a counselor who can help you see the toxic patterns that you can't. And finally, this. I've spoken to people who've gone back to toxic relationships over and over. And when they discover that, they feel an enormous amount of shame. You have to release that shame. These patterns were survival for you. You built them to endure for whatever reason, but you don't have to keep living there. Freedom doesn't come from forcing yourself never to have a relationship again. It comes from seeing the door that led you into the toxic relationships and choosing a new one. Now, which of those 6 reasons feels most familiar to you? Drop it in the comments below. You'll be surprised by how many people feel the same thing. If this video resonated with you, be sure and watch this video. It's another place where hidden patterns can sabotage connection. If you're tired of going back to toxic relationships, you're not alone. I've sat across from hundreds of people in counseling who found themselves in the same situation. People are complicated, relationships are hard, But when you understand yourself and others more deeply, you can connect in a whole new way. Subscribe for more videos like this, and thank you so much for watching. Grace and peace to you.